Hello everybody, welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty. I am here with the Spellbinders Advent Calendar Roundup for days 15 through 21. So this is the third week of our Advent calendar. I do have roundups for the first week, day 1 through 7. The second week, day 8 through 14. I can do math, really. So if you want to see those, I will link you up in the description down below. And for now, let's go ahead and dive in. So I have been opening each of my Advent doors on the day and creating a short form video. And I do have a playlist of all the shorts if you want to check out each day. They're, the shorts are short. They're between 1 to 2.5 minutes. And I reveal each goodie and I make a little project. And so the little projects I've been making are these tags, which I am turning into greeting cards. If you haven't seen my previous roundups, that's the point of this entire project, is to create these tags, which then get converted into greeting cards. And I will show you more on that at the end. All right, so day 15 was this little XO and swirl embossing folder. And this swirl goes along with, let me see if I can find it. I got everything sitting off to the side. Of course, it's in the very bottom bin. Goes along with this swirl die set that we got on day 5. Now, I wasn't totally thrilled with this die set when I opened it, just because I wasn't sure what I would do with it, but I've ended up using it quite a bit. What I haven't done and meant to do is to see if it actually matches up with the embossing. I'll do that at some point, but I'm super curious about that. At any rate, with that lovely embossing folder, I created the background for my day's tag project. And you can see I've created a little mug, and that mug was created with the drink cup set. Maybe I'll just kind of set all this stuff off to the side so that I can access it. This was the second week of tags, if you haven't seen the video. Here's the drink cup. So I took the drink cup and I cut it full size, and then I took just the top rim and aligned it in the middle of the drink cup so that I could cut the cup down to size to create a little mug. And then the rim piece I turned into the handle on my mug. And with the little squiggles, I created a little string for a tea bag. And then I decorated up my mug with the flowers and added some pizzazz to everything. And that was my day. I keep losing track of all the days. The day 15 tag. All right, for day 16, it's hiding under here. We got this 4 set of words to create a phrase, or mix and match your words to create various phrases. And it says, if you use them all, you made my day. So in my last video, I talked about when I get an item, I try to really emphasize that item. I mean, something like an embossing folder is a little bit harder to emphasize, but I zhuzhed this one up by using gold ink on the embossing folder to do an impressed, kind of a faux letter press look with the ink and the embossing folder. When you get a die set that is a sentiment, it's a little harder to make that the star of the show. So I do that by, like I mentioned in my last video, repetition, contrast of colors, and other ways to kind of zhuzh it up to make it the star of the show. So this, again, I used the contrast of colors with the black tag. I spread all those words out, so you have to kind of focus on each word as you go. And then I made this really extra long tag. If this doesn't fit on a card, now I'm wondering if it's going to work at all. I think it's too long. I can always just clip off that little bit extra and leave the hot air balloon up there on top. So that was day 17 with You Made My Day. All right, day 18, I tried to put everything in order because my last video I was hunting and searching. All right, day 18 was a set of sequins. We had gotten a previous color on a previous day, and I love both of these colors. This one is my favorite because It's showing up more blue on my camera, but this one has got a tealy green kind of mintiness to it, and then the iridescent shine on top of that. My favorite sequins are holeless, which apparently a lot of people call confetti instead of sequins because sequins have holes. I still call them holeless sequins, but this is one of my favorite colors, so I loved day 18. Where did I emphasize sequins on day 18? Oh, friends, I'm going to have to go and look and see what I did because it doesn't seem to be sitting here. I know there's a shaker hiding in there. Some of you are going to say, hey, that one. But I made that on a different day. Let me go and check and I'll be right back. All right, crafters, I had it wrong. We are actually on day 17. So we had 15, 16 was the words, 17 was this nested tag set. That's why I'm confused, because I knew I used that tag set with my sequins that I thought we were on a next day because I thought the tags came after, but they came first. And so I started with this idea where I wanted to do a stack of those tags and give them some emphasis and some pop. I was really playing with color. I used the same colors to just create little stripes, and that was from the little Frenchy Bulldog set, because the little Frenchy Bulldog, oh, he's on this tray. The little Frenchy Bulldog has this shirt which has stripes that cut out separately that you can glue onto a shirt. So I thought that made a great little emphasis underneath a sentiment, and then backed it with a little heart. But I was not done playing with this set. So instead of making one tag this day, I made 2 more tags. So let's take a look at tag number 2. This one was the second idea I had, where you just use them as blocks. You could do a grid style. I just wanted to try and make them as random as you can with 4, which is an even number. So it's odd to make it into a random shape. So I did what I could, and then I just added a cute little embellishment to each one. So that was my second idea. And then thirdly, I wanted to use those cut shapes. Sorry for the cat hair. Cat hair is everywhere. I wanted to use those cut shapes as a background. So like I said again about emphasizing that set is to create that contrast. So the background is all white, which isn't contrast, with the white on white, but it does contrast with the little hello. So you notice the hello, and then your eye starts wandering to the details in the background. So that is kind of how I created the contrast and highlighting these edge shapes with that one. So those were the 3 tags that I made for day 17. All right, now we're on to day 18, which I ended up creating 2 more tags. And I believe I started with this one because at some point you gotta make a shaker card. I mean, that's the first thing that comes to mind. When you get a bag of sequins, you gotta make a shaker card, but everybody's making shaker cards. So I was trying to avoid that, but at some point you gotta do it. So I zhuzhed mine up by creating this repetition. And in fact, this piece was left over from a previous tag, which I do have sitting here. When I created this tag, I just cut out lots and lots of the words hello, not knowing how many I would want for my design. In the end, I used 3, but I had a lot more hellos cut out. So I kept this piece knowing it would come in useful at some point. So what I did is I cut out all of these ticket shapes with day 17 in lots of different, let me see if I can get the camera to really focus in on there. Let me try coming from this angle. Come on, camera. I don't know if you can, okay, maybe you can see a little bit there. I've got all of these little die cuts stacked up. So these are all the different colors that I used in my words. And I die cut the word hello from the center because I knew that piece was going to be left over. Only I aligned it so that if it is leftover, it's still a usable leftover. And sneak peek, there's my leftovers. All right, so I created my shaker, and at first I thought I would fill the shaker with hellos as well as sequins, but that was just too busy. So I just took one more of that high contrast hello and added it into my shaker. I did put vellum behind my shaker so that it would mute some of the boldness from this background, but you can still see it, you can still read it. It's a little bit of a mystery for the eye. It's a fun little detail to kind of wander over, and then you can shake it and shake it until you get that little hello to be right side up. So that is a fun little interactive one. And then on that same day, like I said, I had these tag pieces with the word hello cut out of them left over from these colors in particular. And then I added a white one to finish off this tag. And then, of course, we've got to use day 18 sequins to just add a little O onto our word hello. So that is spelled out with sequins. All right, so that was day 18. Day 19 was another stamp set, and I'm guessing that this is probably our final stamp set because usually in the past they've had 3 stamp sets. So at least I think they've had 3 stamp sets. So I think this is the final one. This one has a sweet little script, and it has some fun sayings to it. So it says happy birthday wishes, but I like the wishes included. Most things just say happy birthday. This one also has have a sweet day, which that was a clue to me that we would get something sweet, and we certainly did. You are adored. That was my favorite one. And then this one says warmest thanks, which I really liked. But when I got this stamp set, have a sweet day was the one that caught my attention first. I didn't have a lot of time this day, so I went through my leftovers bin, which I've just been keeping this bin, and as I work and things, I don't like the color of something, or I cut too many of something, I've put it in my leftovers bin, and I pulled all the elements out of my leftovers bin to make this tag, except for the tag itself. So I've got this little bee character that was, come on camera, that was from day 6, and he was not my favorite of the items that we've gotten, but I'm going to use him for things, and it'll all work out. So I had this little extra one that I cut out of a milder color palette than a typical rich yellow and black. So he was my alternative color that I was trying out, and he made a nice little way to add to this card, and it has have a sweet day as the forefront of the tag when you see it. So that was day 19. Day 20 was a little layered stencil set. And I tell you, when I looked at this stencil set, I did not see any numbers on there. And I figured just layering them up however you wanted would go. And for the most part, it did. I did notice that a couple of my circles ended up overlapping between stencil 1 and stencil 3. And then I watched other people's videos, and they did say that, yes, indeed, and I do not think the camera's going to behave. Oh, but it is. Yes, indeed, they do have numbers on them, so they can go in a particular order. And my eyes are cooperating. There we go. So it does go 1, 2, 3. So they do go in a particular order so that you have a nice variety of overlap and not awkward overlap where, one circle overlaps another one by 3/4. That's pretty awkward. So at any rate, I had that, and my first thought was to make it mixed media because I knew a lot of people would be color blending through that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing. I just wanted to try and show yet another idea to stretch your supplies and stretch your techniques and stretch your creativity. So this one, I created this little background with blues and yellows, and I chose those colors to go with the sequins because I knew I was going to emphasize some things with sequins. And then I used Tim Holtz watercolor pencils. I always get the words confused. He's got a set of watercolor crayons and a set of watercolor pencils, and one is waxy but still water soluble. The other one is not waxy and water soluble, but I get the words confused. At any rate, one of the watercolor pencil mediums. And then I highlighted each circle with black pen because I spritzed the pencils with water to allow them to spread and seep, just for some more detail and texture. And then because this is a square that would not fit on my tag, I could have kept going, but I just wanted to emphasize the shape of that square and then add my sentiment, along with a lot of little hearts that came again with that French Bulldog set. We had this little heart there, and so I knew I wanted to use something with those repeated hearts over and over again, and the "You Are Adored" sentiment worked perfectly with all of those little hearts. So that was day 20. And here we are at today, day 21, which is these popsicle ice creams, ice pops. They could be fudgesicles. I was feeling a little confused about how all the pieces layered, and really in the end you can just kind of mix and match them. But the designer had ideas in mind when they designed the die. So it took me a while before I figured out how all the pieces layered, and then I ignored it and did my own thing anyway. Not entirely true. The ice cream emphasized over the top of the background layer. And then I made my ice creams drippy and melty, and then I used that sentiment that says "Have a sweet day" that I mentioned really loving, and I knew we would get something sweet, and our something sweet was ice cream. So that is today, which is day 21, as I'm filming this video. And we have 3 more days to go, 22, 23, 24. We have 3 more days to go, which will end up being shorts. I might do a wrap-up video of those days. We shall see. I do have a couple more tags sitting here. These were just extras that I had made along the way. I believe this one I made on, I think, day 7. I didn't have time to make a project. I just revealed the item. And so this was my extended idea to that item, which was actually a flower stencil. Here we go. It was this flower stencil, and I just used the branches to create a Christmas tree. Now, this is an advent calendar, but none of the products are Christmas themed, and I like that because I don't need 100 Christmas themed items. So I love that this works for all occasions all year long, and you can pull out these supplies anytime you need something. But it is Christmas season, so I did go ahead and make one Christmas project. And this was something, this was the bee that I had created previously that had those stark black and white colors. And I realized this was another one of the puzzle piecing dies that I wasn't quite sure how it all went together. I realized after the fact that the wings I chose to put on that way, most people are putting them on kind of butterfly wing style. So mix and match your wings if you like. At any rate, that was the 2 other dies that I think I may have shown them in other videos. All right, that wraps up what I've done for days 1 through, no, this video was day 16 through 21, but I do have wrap-up videos for the previous days, day 1 through 7, day 8 through 14, and then this 3rd video with probably a shorter 4th one coming. And if you haven't seen those other videos yet, I will link them all up so that you can check them out. I am taking all these tags and I am creating gift sets to give to my friends for Christmas gifts. So I've got to get my act together because we're having our friend Christmas party tomorrow, and I need to turn all these tags into gift cards. So I'm creating a set of cards to give to my friends as gifts for them to send to their loved ones on special occasions. I'm including envelopes, and most importantly, I am including stamps. If you don't know, these are the U.S. Post Office butterfly stamps, which include extra postage for anything that won't fit through their machines. So since I'm making my tags lumpy and bumpy, I wanted to include the extra postage, and it definitely needs postage if it's a gift set, because we all know that postage is expensive these days, and most people don't even keep postage in their house anymore because of all the e-bill pay and all the email and stuff that we do, the post office is becoming irrelevant, except for when we are sending love to our family and friends. And that is why I continue to make cards and give them as gifts so other people continue to send love to friends and family. All right, that wraps up what I'm doing. I need to go get to work and turn these tags into cards. So I will say thank you so much for watching, for being here. And I would super appreciate that you could give this video a thumbs up and also leave me a comment, because those 2 easy free things go a long way to helping the whole YouTube algorithm get my channel out to more crafters to share my style of inspiration for somebody who might enjoy my messy, mixed media, creative, alternative ways of using products. So I appreciate you all being here, and until next time, I hope you have an artful day.